Hello, good evening and welcome to our second Facebook Live event, which gives you a window into our service. My name is Simon Shilton, I'm the Chief Fire Officer of Avon Fire and Rescue Service, and I'm joined this evening by my colleagues Ben Thompson, who is the Manager for Protection and Prevention, and also Business Fire Safety Officer Zena, who's part of the protection team. Tonight really is around to give you an opportunity of a little bit of an insight. But one of the ways that you can do that also is visiting our website. On our website at the moment, you'll see that we are out to consultation on our service plan. Our service plan is how we will deliver our service to you as a community, either through preventing, protecting, responding, and also building a resilient service. And it also sets out who, what, why, where and when somebody is at risk from fire or other instances where you may be able to call on our services. We have a 3-year rolling plan. This year we've had a refresh of our plan, and it's an opportunity for you to have feedback on that, and we're asking for your feedback. Including in that is also how we fund our service, and we're out to consultation to ask you your opinions on whether or not you will be prepared to pay an increase in your council tax this year to £5 per Band D property, and that equates to just 10 pence a day per person in our service area. And surely you can all agree that is excellent value for money and a good insurance policy. So please pay a visit to our website, have a look at that consultation, and we'd very much welcome your feedback and your views on our service plan and how we fund your fire and rescue service. So with that, I'll hand over to my colleague Ben, who will talk to you a little bit more about his role and also prevention. Ben.
Thank you, Simon. As Simon said, I'm Group Manager for Prevention and Protection. Tonight I'm just going to talk briefly about some prevention activity that we've got going on and a few updates, and then I'm going to pass over to Zena, who will talk about our protection and business fire safety. So a couple of topical points first to start us off this evening. I'm sure you've all noticed the weather the last few days. It's been pretty horrendous. We have had a spate of flooding incidents in the service area, and we've actually rescued over 20 people from flood conditions. So in line with that, I just wanted to really remind everyone to stay safe when you're trying to drive through floodwater. Basically, the key message is please don't. Avoid it if at all possible. As little as 30 centimetres depth of water can actually move a car in a flood situation, and if you get up to 60 centimetres deep, the entire car can float away, which is really quite surprising for a vehicle like that. If you do find yourself driving through standing water, please remember to test your brakes shortly afterwards so you know they're working okay. And obviously, if you know the weather's bad and you know the local area, try and plan that journey a little bit earlier and avoid those sort of common areas with low land where the floods often happen. Another area that relates to that is over the last month we've actually had a number of water rescue incidents where several people have actually fallen into the water. Clearly the water is extremely cold this time of year, and that can lead to serious injury if not worse. So we just want to focus on the key messages around that. If you are unfortunate enough to fall into the water, what happens is the cold water shock can sort of overcome you and cause you to gasp. The instinct then for many people is to swim hard to fight it and thrash around in the water. But please don't do that. Please try and relax, which is extremely difficult. Lie back in the water with your limbs, legs and arms outstretched. This will help you to float, and usually within about a minute the worst effects will pass and you'll hopefully be able to gain some control of your breathing again, and then you can shout for help or maybe swim to the side. So it kind of goes counterintuitive to what you might think, but that's a key message for us. Please also try to, if you're having a night out and you're taking on alcohol, avoid rivers, docks, canals. So maybe plan your route home, possibly order a taxi before you go out, just to keep yourself safe in that regard. A couple of other quick messages from me. We appreciate there's a cost of living crisis. Gas and electric's gone through the roof, and that's affecting many of our residents in the community. Key messages for home fire safety around that. Make sure you've got a working smoke alarm. Test it on a monthly basis, and please install or have at least one smoke alarm per floor in your property. Best to avoid kitchens and bathrooms for smoke alarms because they go off accidentally, but you can obviously install a heat detector in your kitchen if you want to. Around heating, if you're using portable electrical appliances, please keep them away from your escape routes. Make sure they're well tested and serviced, and always keep them away from curtains, soft furnishings or other flammable stuff like that. And if you're sat in a chair near a heater, we always recommend a minimum distance of 1 metre, just so that your clothes or your chair can't catch fire. Electrical message is quite key around the cost of living crisis too. Please try not to overload sockets and extension leads. If you visit our website, we've got a really handy little checker, which for a gang socket will really show you easily, if you plug in, for example, a toaster and a kettle, how much amps and current that puts through that. It's really easy to use, it's on the website, and it's a good tool. Finally, if you decide to use a log burner or an open fire, maybe you've opened it up because of the cost of living crisis, please do get it checked. I appreciate there's a cost to that, but there is a real risk from carbon monoxide poisoning if you haven't had your chimney flue swept and serviced. So if you're thinking of that as an option to save some money, please do that. There is a small cost, but it will keep you safe in your home. That's it from me, so I'm going to pass over to Zena for business fire safety.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for your time this evening. Business fire safety. So we're a team of specially qualified fire safety officers. Our work covers all our unitary areas, and we are based at offices in Yate, Temple, Patchway, Bath and Western fire stations. We attend various community events to promote fire safety within businesses, and we work alongside other blue light services, local authorities and partnership organisations, for example. The fire safety law applies to businesses, which helps to keep employees and members of the public safe, reduce the likelihood of fire, and to make sure that people are warned if there is a fire and that they can escape from the building to a place of safety. We work with building and business owners, and we may visit premises unannounced at any time if there is a concern, but generally we make appointments to complete fire safety audits. During these visits we ensure the fire safety law is being complied with, and some of the areas that we look at are fire risk assessments, as this will ensure the appropriate fire safety measures are in place. We look at the adequate means of escape to ensure that exits aren't blocked or locked, and that people can escape from the building. We also ensure that there's a right fire alarm system in place. We look at the right firefighting equipment, and we look to see if staff have been trained in what to do in the event of a fire. Where we can, we work informally with the responsible persons to ensure that they are complying with the law. However, sometimes we will need to take more formal action as we are the enforcing authority for fire safety. But please visit our website. Also, we've got a business fire safety video on our YouTube channel. We are all approachable, and we're here to support our local businesses. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Zena. So today really is, as I said earlier on, it's an insight into our service. It's not just about responding to incidents, but part of our key theme of our work is also trying to keep you safe in your home, and also, Zena's explained there, keep you safe in your place of work or as you go about your day-to-day business in buildings. So if you've got a question, please by all means put it on the chat. Our colleagues will pick that up. We're very happy to answer any questions, but I think we've also got some questions that have just recently come in. So Amber.
Yep, so first one's for you, I think, Simon. So why are you asking for an increase in the fire part of the council tax, and how will this money be used?
Yes, a really good question. Thank you for the question. So one of the reasons why we're asking for that £5 increase in our council tax is, as a fire and rescue service, we're not immune to the cost of living crisis and the increase in bills, increase in supplies. Of course, we have our workforce that we have to pay. They all receive a salary, and therefore, though, what we want to do is be able to make sure that our service is sustainable. we can continue to provide the high level of service that we do to you as our community, whether that through response, whether that through prevention or also protection. So that's why we need to ask for your opinion on a £5 increase on your council tax, so we can continue to maintain the level of service that we currently provide here today, as well as cope with all of the increased costs in goods and services.
Fabulous. Ben, hopefully you can help with this one. So you covered a lot of fire safety advice, and you touched on home fire safety visits. But for those not eligible for a home fire safety visit, where can they get fire safety information?
So there's a huge amount of fire safety information on our website. So if you want to visit that one, we do risk assess those who need our visits, the most vulnerable people. So there is a process for that. And for example, if you have young children or if you're over the age of 65, that would mean you were eligible. However, for those people that come up on the system who perhaps don't meet that criteria, we can still post out leaflets, literature, smoke detectors and other things. So there's a number of mechanisms in place. There's also a really useful online fire safety checker tool, which is completely free to use. It's again linked from the website. It only takes about 15 minutes. And what that simply does is walks you through your home room by room and gives you some tips and advice on how to stay safe in the home.
Fabulous, thank you. We've had a question about recruitment. I see you're recruiting for whole-time firefighters this year. What advice would you give someone wanting to join Avon Fire Rescue Service, and how can I best get prepared?
Okay, yeah, so hopefully you are interested in joining as a service. What I can say to you, if you're interested in becoming a firefighter or any other roles that we may have that are vacant within our service or opportunities for employment, it certainly won't be a decision that you regret. It's a fantastic service to come and work for us. Some of the things that you can look for is we will signpost you to our website. On there we have our Yes You Can web page. In there's a whole range of tips and case studies around the role of a firefighter. There's also some exercise plans on there to help you prepare for your fitness levels and your strength levels. So my advice would be download those if you want to take part in a fitness regime to prepare yourself for the selection process. They're really good tools to help you. Also understand around the role, the vast responsibilities and roles of the Fire and Rescue Service. So really take some time to research not just Avon Fire and Rescue Service, but the full breadth and depth of the role of a firefighter. Understand our service values and how our work in the community aligns to our service values, and also how we deliver our services under prevention, protection, response, and deliver a resilient service. So within our Yes You Can web page, there's a whole range of information in there that you can download that will really help you prepare for the selection process and really understand and learn the full breadth and depth of the role of a firefighter.
Fab, and linked to that, we have had a question come in which might be a little bit linked, and if you know the answer, but is a fire service apprenticeship coming this year?
So all of our recruit firefighters are recruited on the apprenticeship scheme, so they follow a apprenticeship programme, which is a 2-year programme of learning and development. So if you apply to become a firefighter, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you are successful, you will enter into a firefighter apprenticeship programme.
Fabulous, thank you. Zena, hopefully you can help with this one. So coming out of COVID, there are lots of measures in place for ventilation, such as wedging fire doors where I work. Should I be concerned from a fire safety point of view?
Yeah, so we had a lot of concerns regarding fire doors being wedged open within businesses and premises, and the answer is if it's got fire door keep shut or fire door keep locked, it shouldn't be wedged open. So if you've got any concerns in a building that you're working in, then just raise your concerns to your manager. And if nothing, if you don't get the answers, or you're not supported, then come through to us. Use our form on our website. Tell us what your concern is, and we will investigate. We will come to that premises. That'll be potentially one of our unannounced visits, and we'll just see what's going on, and we'll just make sure that by the time we leave, the managers understand that fire doors are very important. They hold smoke and fire back, for means of escape. So we want to make sure that we're giving all that support for those businesses.
Fire doors are there for a purpose. They're there to protect your means of escape, as Zena said there. And one of the reasons why we insist that they're well maintained and kept shut is to enable you, if you do have a fire in your building, to get to a point of safety. So that's why we consider those to be a really important factor to make sure they're well maintained and they are kept shut at all times.
Thank you. So we've had another one just come in. Obviously we hope it would never happen, but how or what should I teach my children to do if there's a fire? Ben? Do you want to put it on?
Okay, yeah, very good question. So firstly, leave the property or the building. Generally, obviously, with children, it's slightly different to adults because we would expect them to be either with an adult carer or potentially in an educational school setting. So they will generally have an adult person to support and guide them from the building. But the key message is to leave the building as quickly as possible. Don't stop to gather belongings or your mobile phone or anything like that. And once you're safely outside the building, then you can dial 999 on potentially a friend's phone or a neighbour's phone. And obviously we will come as fast as we can. Fire crews will attend usually very quickly and support to put the fire out. If you're able to close doors as you leave the building, fantastic, but always please prioritise your own safety above everything else and leave the building quickly.
Fabulous, thank you. Slight different subject here. So we've had a question about how are you as a service preparing if firefighters go on strike?
Yes, okay, so I can answer that. So we have a team of staff that are working on those arrangements should firefighters vote to take part in industrial action. What we are currently out there is recruiting reserve firefighters, and we'll give them some training to be able to respond to incidents. What I will say during periods of industrial action is we won't have a full capability. We will be able to respond to incidents, and we will have a capability to be able to deal with those incidents as well. But we've got a team of people now who are working on those necessary arrangements, having some temporary resources in place in the instance of any period of industrial action.
Lovely, thank you. So last question that we've got. In one of my local supermarkets, you can see that the fire exits are clearly blocked. What can I do to get this resolved? Zena, do you want to do that one?
Yes, thank you. So if you're out and about and you're seeing blocked exits, while you're on site, it's best to raise that concern while you're there so people can see, the managers can see what's going on in their own premises. But again, if you've got those concerns or it's something you're seeing on a regular basis, come through to us, give us all the details, and we will go out and, like I said before, we'll go out and inspect that property and we'll make sure that those exits are free from blockage. Okay, thank you.
That is all the questions that we've had in.
So this Facebook Live session, as I said right at the very start, it's an opportunity for you to get an insight into the service. If watching this video at a later stage and you have a question for us, then please feel free to post that on our Facebook page. We'll be more than happy to come back and answer those. Or if there's a particular theme or area of the service that you're interested in, please do provide us with that feedback, because we can shape that around future sessions to give you a further insight into the vast amount of work that we do across the service. And we have a huge amount of team. We employ about 900 staff, all different specialisms and professional expertise in all sorts of areas that will be more than happy to join us in one of these Facebook Live sessions and give you an insight in the type of work that we do. If you are interested in roles within Avon Fire and Rescue Service, please do visit our website. We don't just have roles for operational firefighters and whole-time firefighters. We have on-call vacancies, which are stations out in less populated areas, and we also have quite a wide range of different roles in the Fire and Rescue Service, from finance to premises to resourcing to health and safety to human resources to community safety, to name but a few. But please do, if you are interested in coming to work for Avon Fire and Rescue Service, keep an eye on our website, because that is where we advertise a lot of our vacancies. And we'd love to receive an application from you, and hopefully you'll be successful and come and work for such a fantastic service.